True North Strong is just about to start here on the Weather Network with these guys, our storm hunters. But first, hey, let's talk about weather here. This is what you can expect into Sunday. The system in Atlantic Canada, it's still there with you into Newfoundland, and we are going to see some wraparound rains in through Charlottetown as well as Sydney, Cape Breton Island, and the low. This low is going to continue to bring in some snowfall in through the interior, but we will see the heaviest throughout the overnight, so better conditions into tomorrow. Now, Sunday morning, this is what it feels like right across the country. Toronto, of course, the big Santa Claus parade on Sunday, a high of 12. All right, we're just about to finish off storm hunters here, but let's talk about weather. I want to point out this warm front here that's going across the prairies. Boy, is this a treat for this time of year. Regina and Winnipeg getting up to 10 and 11 degrees, so we're looking at awesome conditions. High pressure in place for Ontario, and as we look here at some of the morning temperatures, you can see it's going to be cool in Winnipeg. 1 feeling like -3, but 10 into the afternoon. Montreal feeling more like -2, and St. John's, you could see some mixing this evening on the Avalon, and then into Sunday afternoon, only a high of 4. Sophia Kambalia there with news in a minute, and I'm here now with your national forecast. Rachel Schoutsen with you, and let me take you into Ontario first, where today was a little cold, wasn't it? It was cold enough for this to happen, this scene and sending it in. Now, when we talk about some snow this evening, we're seeing that in Timmins and Kapuskasing as a few bands move through, but to the south here, it was cold today, but warming up into Sunday. 12 for Toronto. Hey, that's pretty nice. 14 in Windsor, looking pretty good. Now, as we look ahead here at what the conditions are going to be like in through this week, high pressure is in place. We'll see temperatures slightly cool, but then warm back up into Wednesday. This is where we are looking at a system coming through. Now, the system that brought us in Ontario the very windy conditions on Lake Erie, we were showing you some of that footage. It's still off in Atlantic Canada, and it's stalling out over Newfoundland, so you can still expect to see the rain showers in through Sunday. Now, the rain showers easing for Vancouver, so good news here, but we do have special weather statements in place throughout the interior for this evening and through the overnight due to snow. 20 to 40 centimeters of snow. And as we look ahead into Sunday here, Calgary at 8, the snow continues up through northern Alberta. And as we look ahead here, well, places like Banff, Lake Louise, Whistler, they're all gearing up to open because that's how much snow is in the forecast. Well, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Rachel Schoutsen, along with the weekend team here to bring you your national forecast. I want to start off first with a time lapse. Let me take you into Calgary. Stuart, thank you so much. Now let me take you now over to the east, and we're going to focus in on the long-range trends. Toronto, Ontario, you're warming up a little bit into Sunday. Things are going to be nicer, but the Maritimes here, New Brunswick will be clear, but the Avalon, unfortunately, you're holding on to this system, and it's going to be with you well into Monday. And then our next system to come ahead of that, it's going to bring in some mild air. We're talking back into the mid-teens. Yeah, remember, we're mid-November now. Mid-teens is not normal. And then as we look at this low come through, it could be bringing in some rain showers, especially to places like Thunder Bay. We're going to see about 20 millimeters of rain for you into the end of the week. Now, I want to fast forward here, get you over to the other side of the country. What we will see in your long-range trends is another low coming into the BC coast, and this one ramping up the winds, bringing in the rain. Snow levels are dropping as well, and a nice chunk of cold air will come into play through Alberta. We are going to look at chilly conditions. We're talking -6 for the daytime highs to end off the week. Now, Sunday here right across the country, Vancouver at 7, Calgary at 8, Montreal at 7. You'll see some sunshine. And now here's more on the forecast in your backyard. Have a look at your locals. Isn't that cool? So awesome. Now, also awesome that you're here with us because this is just the start of your national forecast here. I want to show you the cloud tops. Look at all of this action here in through BC and Alberta. We have special weather statements in place for the snow that is moving through the southern interior, 20 to 40 centimeters of it. But of course, the skiers are happy, and it's also nice to see some snow for scenes like this. Let me take you into Niagara Falls, Ontario tomorrow than it was today. Today, those westerly winds, they were pretty strong. Now, up to Timmins and Kapuskasing, 6 and 5 degrees here, and the snow eases off for you. Throughout the show, we'll show you the snow in Thunder Bay. Yeah, that was a pretty good amount of snow, wasn't it? Shovel-worthy. Now, high pressure's in place for the most part. We're looking at great conditions for Sunday and into Monday. And I also want to show you Atlantic Canada drying out for New Brunswick. The rain sticks with you in Charlottetown and still with you as well on the Avalon. Now, here's your locals. Perfect timing. I'm glad you're here because I want to talk about the snow in BC, and then we'll get all the way out to Newfoundland and your rain as well. But look at this here. This system that's coming through overnight and in through Sunday. Places like Whistler, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. Whistler will open on November 19th. Blackcomb, November 26th. But unfortunately, travel throughout the southeast interior of BC, special weather statements are in place because it could be dangerous. Now, warm conditions across the prairies, above seasonal for you. Awesome forecast. Let me take you into Ontario now and show you what some of the conditions you can expect into Sunday here. Much warmer, so it's looking a little bit nicer for Toronto at 12. That's above seasonal. But today in Niagara Falls, it was a little cool, but it was perfect for the Santa Claus parade, and Chrissy, well, she met Santa. Check it out.
It's been such a fun day. I've been helping host the Niagara Falls Santa Claus Parade. But of course, now I'm with the man of the hour, Santa Claus himself. And I have to ask, well, there you go. So the reindeer are happy. And of course, thousands of kids here are as well here in Niagara Falls.
Oh, I love it, Chrissy. And of course, on Sunday, Toronto hosts their Santa Claus parade as well. A 5K run taking place before the parade. Very cool. Now let's take a look here Sunday in Atlantic Canada. The Gaspé, you could see some mixing. Charlottetown, Cape Breton Island, you will be into the showers, and the rain continues here for Newfoundland. Unfortunately, this low stalling out, and this is going to continue to bring you active weather. Now for more on your forecast and what you can expect in your backyard, here's your locals. Vacation bound. That sounds pretty good, right? Especially if you're dealing with the snow throughout BC, Alberta, or along the northern peninsula of Newfoundland. This is what you can expect if you're traveling stateside into Sunday. But let's focus in on one of the best places to be. Yeah, let's head down to Daytona Beach. 24 with sunshine. Oh, that sounds pretty good. Now, if you are headed further south, you're going down to Miami. 27. That's a great temperature, but we are expected to see some thunderstorms. Cool stuff there, Chris. Now, thank you for being here with us this evening. I'm Rachel Schoutsen. You are watching the Weather Network, and this here is your national forecast. Let's go coast to coast. I want to start off in Ontario first, where it was cold today, wasn't it? There we go. Here's Ontario. 12 degrees in Toronto. That's what you can expect into Sunday. So much nicer. This is above seasonal, so this is still a little taste of October here. Today, it certainly felt like November. We were at seasonal, and those winds were fairly strong. Now, as we look off to the east here, Charlottetown, Sydney, and into Newfoundland, the rain continues for you. Snow for the northeastern peninsula of Newfoundland. This is actually where we do have special weather statements in place, and this low is just going to hang out. Yeah, unfortunately, Newfoundland, dreary, kind of miserable weather that is in your forecast for the next few days. Now off to the west here, Vancouver sees some sunshine into Sunday afternoon, but this here, the southeast interior of BC, lots of snowfall, 20 to 40 centimeters. Now here's your local forecast. Cool, but perfect to suit the occasion. We just needed a few flurries, didn't we? That's not in the forecast for southern Ontario, but we are seeing some snow up to Timmins and Kapuskasing, and especially in through BC and Alberta. Snowfall warnings are in place. But as we focus in on our story here in through southern Ontario and the GTA, well, this is what you can expect. Okay, overnight, it's going to feel a little cold. Look at Ottawa, below zero, -1 there. Toronto at 3, Barrie at 1. Barrie, how was the snow this morning? Yeah, snow squalls brought in some snow for you. But for the most part, we're warming up. And tomorrow, of course, the Toronto Santa Claus Parade. Look at this, 12 degrees. That's above seasonal. We should be at 7 for this time of year. So we're looking at excellent conditions for this. And for the most part, this week also fantastic as well. High pressure in place, and we are looking at warm conditions. When we talk about warm, how's 14 on Wednesday? Now here's a look at your local forecast. Michelle, thanks for that. What a wonderful way to learn. All right, let's learn about your weather here. We're going to focus in on your story in through Ontario, and of course, pretty exciting. Are you ready for this? Tomorrow, the Santa Claus Parade in Toronto, 12 degrees. Doesn't feel very Christmas-like, does it? No, that's actually above seasonal for this time of year. We should be at 7, but nonetheless, if you're headed out, you probably just need a light jacket because these conditions, well, this is going to feel more like October. So let's have a look here at the system that's coming in. It's all about high pressure in place. We're looking at great conditions through this evening and into Sunday, warming up into Sunday, and we're losing those strong winds. Today was pretty blustery. Now, as we look ahead into Monday here, you can see temperatures fall to 10, still above seasonal, and overall the week is looking very nice. Lots of sunshine in place. We are expected to see a system mid to end week. Now, how does this weather affect you? Here's your Time lapse there, and now your national weather forecast. We're going to focus in on weather stories across the country with a special focus here on the GTA. I want to mention, though, snowfall warnings in place out through Alberta. Whistler is set to open, Blackcomb as well, all early, thanks to all of this snow. But here in Ontario, you don't have to worry about that, no. Just have a look at this. Overnight, 2 degrees in Barrie, 3 in Toronto, -1 in Ottawa. Okay, it's a little cold. Santa Claus Parade is tomorrow, and a high of 12 degrees. That doesn't seem very winter-like, does it? No, the above-seasonal trend, it's sticking with us this week. Sunshine, that's what you can expect into tomorrow, Monday as well. High pressure is in place. The next system, we'll see that start to form midweek. Places like Thunder Bay really getting in a lot of rain with this. Now, how will this system affect you? Here's a look at your locals. Parade. And of course, Toronto Santa Claus Parade, well, that kicks off tomorrow on Sunday, and the conditions are going to be beautiful. Today, the winds were a little strong in through southern Ontario. Strong westerly, northwesterly wind, but tomorrow those winds will ease, and we're going to warm up. Yeah, look at this, 12. That doesn't feel like Christmas, does it? 12 degrees to be welcoming in Santa. I hope he doesn't get too hot. Of course, he's used to being up at the North Pole, so 12. It's going to be a very mild climate for Santa as he arrives in Toronto. Now look at this here. High pressure is in place. So far, we are not expecting anything in the way of active weather in terms of Sunday, Monday, even into Tuesday. The conditions are looking great and above seasonal. So Monday, have a look. Barrie at 9, Toronto at 10. We should be at 7 for this time of year. So to see the sunshine and to be at 10 degrees, this is good. This feels a little bit more like October. Look at London at 13, Windsor at 14 if you have travel plans. A little cooler over in the Ottawa Valley, only 5. Now 6 here in Ottawa on Tuesday. Toronto still stays at 10. And I want to give you a better picture of what weather will look like in your backyard. We've added another local forecast, so have a look at this. Now let me take you now over to the east, and we're going to focus in on the long-range trends. Toronto, Ontario, you're warming up a little bit into Sunday. Things are going to be nicer, but the Maritimes here, New Brunswick will be clear, but the Avalon, unfortunately, you're holding on to this system, and it's going to be with you well into Monday. And then our next system to come, ahead of that, it's going to bring in some mild air. We're talking back into the mid-teens. Yeah, remember, we're mid-November now. Mid-teens is not normal. And then as we look at this low come through, it could be bringing in some rain showers, especially to places like Thunder Bay. We're going to see about 20 millimeters of rain for you into the end of the week. Now, I want to fast forward here, get you over to the other side of the country. What we will see in your long-range trends is another low coming into the BC coast. And this one ramping up the winds, bringing in the rain. Snow levels are dropping as well. And a nice chunk of cold air will come into play through Alberta. We are going to look at chilly conditions. We're talking -6 for the daytime highs to end off the week. Now Sunday here right across the country, Vancouver at 7, Calgary at 8, Montreal at 7. You'll see some sunshine. And now here's more on the forecast in your backyard. Have a look at your locals. True North Strong is just about to start here on the Weather Network with these guys, our storm hunters. But first, hey, let's talk about weather here. This is what you can expect into Sunday. The system in Atlantic Canada, it's still there with you into Newfoundland, and we are going to see some wraparound rains in through Charlottetown as well as Sydney, Cape Breton Island, and the low. This low is going to continue to bring in some snowfall in through the interior, but we will see the heaviest throughout the overnight, so better conditions into tomorrow. Now, Sunday morning, this is what it feels like right across the country. Toronto, of course, the big Santa Claus Parade on Sunday, a high of 12.